My father was eager to remarry and tried to let the waves take away his blind child. Perhaps divine intervention occurred. The cries of seagulls saved me. When he saw I had survived, only disappointment showed on his face. The calls of animals in the forest drew me in, and my father watched me wander off without stopping me. He only wanted me dead. Thankfully, a kind-hearted colleague of his found and rescued me. I never felt paternal love from him. I experienced this colorful world only through touch and sound. After school, classmates were picked up one by their parents, while I waited alone. Even when he finally came, he would only watch coldly from afar. I still hoped he would come to me with love, but in the principal's office, he tried every possible way to abandon me. The principal's refusal shattered his plan. Left with no choice, he reached out to take me home. Even that faint, reluctant warmth was enough to console me. It turned out he had taken a liking to a widow from the neighboring village. He claimed he had no children, so my father saw me as an obstacle to his marriage. He sent me to my grandmother's house. On the way, unaware of the truth, I happily absorbed the world through my senses. Thankfully, I didn't see the disgust on his face. At my grandmother's, I finally felt the warmth of family. My dark world began to glow. I touched my grandmother's face to know her, and used my hands to feel the nature around me. What I didn't know was that my father had already proposed to the widow. While my grandmother was working in the fields, he secretly took me away. I thought he was taking me home, until I heard the sound of a car in the distance and realized this wasn't the way back. My struggles were useless. He left me at a blind carpenter's workshop and walked away. When my grandmother returned and found me missing, she went out to search for me, but her frail body couldn't take her far. She collapsed into the water. She fell gravely ill and passed away without seeing me one last time. News that my father had a child eventually reached the widow's family, and they returned the engagement gifts to him. My grandmother and I could never compare to that widow. My father returned to the carpenter's workshop and took me away again. As we were crossing a river, the bridge suddenly collapsed. The horse and I fell into the water. My father merely watched coldly, a scene he had imagined countless times. Perhaps now he was finally free. I struggled desperately in the water, trying to turn toward where I thought my father stood. Maybe it was sudden guilt, watching me drift farther away, that finally made him rush into the river. The fierce current quickly filled him with regret. He tightly grabbed a branch and pulled himself back to the shore. He ran to where I was being swept downstream, but by then I had stopped breathing. In that moment, I would never know how much sincerity was in his tears. Goodbye, world I never saw.